Morning everyone and welcome back to This Week in F1, and this week F1 was in Qatar for Max Verstappen's mathematical confirmation championship, although the logical confirmation for that championship was about 10 races ago. Now this was a sprint weekend, which meant we were going to get plenty of competitive on-track action, starting out with qualifying on the Friday, which saw Lance Stroll out in Q1 again.
It's time to go!
We then saw him launch his steering wheel, shove his personal trainer, and give an interview that made Kimi Raikkonen look like a gossip monkey.
Yes.
This guy, he's got to go. That's 4 races in a row not getting into Q2, while Fernando Alonso, who's made every single Q3. It's simply unacceptable, but daddy's money talks, I guess.
Show me the money!
Anyway, we also saw about 3 million track limit violations, Perez and Sainz both out in Q2, and the inevitable Max Verstappen on pole for the weekend. He needed the points to secure his mathematical championship. Then on the Saturday we had sprint action, but before that the FIA decided that there weren't enough track limit violations on the previous day and decided to make the track even tighter. Or maybe they did it for health and safety reasons, but who knows?
You've got to wear that.
Why?
Because health and safety say it'll keep you healthy and safe.
Safe from what? Right.
Anyway, after the peoples had finished painting the track, the drivers got 10 minutes to learn the new track, and then the sprint shootout got underway. And it started out pretty much the same. Lance Stroll out in Q1 again. Go! And another 3 million track violations. However, the ending was a bit different, with Hamilton out in Q2 instead of Perez, and a McLaren front row lockout with Piastri on pole. But surely the rookie can't keep Max Verstappen behind for an entire sprint race.
That's impossible!
Well, what a sprint race it was. Off the start, Lando and Max had atrocious getaways, leading to them getting swallowed up by the Tory and the Italians. Piastri manages to keep himself ahead, before into turn 2, Liam Lawson loses control of his backside, marooning himself in the gravel trap and bringing out the first safety car. Off the restart, Piastri keeps the lead for the first half of the lap, but Russell's softs get fired up much quicker, and he manages to get up the inside of Piastri and take the lead. Then, after giving himself a quick pat on the back, pulls a bit of a gap until Logie Bear decides that he is absolutely, positively, definitely, 100% had enough of his Williams seat and puts the car into the gravel trap, bringing out the second safety car of the race. On the restart, Russell catches Piastri off guard using the soft tyres and gets a mega restart, leaving Oscar to just about fend off the incoming Spaniard. But as the laps went on, the softs began to fall off and the medium runners took advantage, with Verstappen starting to make his way past the strolling horses and Piastri reeling in Russell until lap 11, where he makes easy work of Bug Eyes down the DRS straight,
Crikey.
retaking the lead of the race. Further down the field, Perez was getting in a bit of a tangle with an Alpine and a Haas until Ocon decided he had had enough and ran them all off the road. Better than surrendering, I guess.
Shut up, you goddamn Frenchy, cheese-eating surrender monkey.
With 4 laps to go, the safety car comes in. Verstappen and Lando are on a charge, with Verstappen passing George like he doesn't exist, then Lando passing the 2 Ferraris. All this gave Max Verstappen his 3rd world championship. But wait. At I have 2 brain cells 44 on Twitter has said, doesn't count, hashtag human error champion, hashtag F1 fixed, hashtag Red Bull cheats, hashtag financial doping. So sadly, I take no pleasure in announcing that Max Verstappen has not won the 2023 title because some basement dweller with the IQ of a Scouse pigeon has tweeted some hashtags, and the title instead goes to Lewis Hamilton because he got likes on Instagram. So congratulations to the 8-time world champion. A mega achievement there. Anyway, Piastri takes his first win in F1, giving yet another middle finger to Lando Norris and really solidifying himself as a great rookie. Now on to the main event, and with Merc lining up 2-3 behind Red Bull, there was an opportunity for them to take the lead, until there was a bit of deja vu.
And it's Nico Rosberg and Hamilton's onto the grass, and Hamilton's had a massive crash, and he's crashed into his teammate. The 2 Mercedes come together.
Ever get that feeling of deja vu.
Goes around the outside, he's hit his teammate. Lewis Hamilton turns into George Russell and the Mercedes collide.
Oh dear, we are in trouble.
What a start to the race. Honestly, other than them hitting Max out, I don't think I could have dreamed a more chaotic start. This obviously meant Lewis was out of the running and his beached car on the gravel trap brought out the safety car. Now, I'm not going to go on a rant about Team LH's response to this. For now. Maybe in the future, but for the minute, I just want to focus on the incident itself. First of all, it was 100% Lewis's fault. He turned into George when there was absolutely no space. George could not go anywhere because of Verstappen on his inside. Verstappen couldn't go anywhere because there was nothing on his inside. So in my opinion, George, for once, wasn't at fault.
Crikey.
Lewis even took 100% of the blame in an interview after the race and on Twitter, which is very respectable. Something I quite admire about him is he always admits when he's wrong. However, his fans, they saw it a little bit differently. They thought because Ham Sandwich started on the soft compound, that should mean Russell has to lay out the red carpet and let him through. And that is a load of bullshit. If we are going to start introducing team orders into lap 1, turn 1 of the race, this sport is well and truly dead. If Lewis can't overtake round the outside on the softer compound, then tough shit. That is racing. If you want to overtake into the first corner, then fucking earn it. You can't have your team roll out the red carpet for you every time you want to pass your teammate. It's lap 1, turn 1. For fuck's sake, it's the most interesting corner of the entire race. We can't have drivers not go for moves because their teammate is on a different compound. Down into turn 1, it should be every man and woman for themselves. If you want team orders later, that's fine. But the first corner, it's like the start of the Hunger Games, where everyone charges towards that big tent thing and beat the living shit out of each other with the first thing they pick up. They shouldn't be trying to team up at that stage. If Lewis wanted a backpack out of the strange tent thing, then he should have picked up a knife and stabbed Russell in the neck, not asking for the backpack while Russell is holding a fucking spear. It's just a one-way trip to an early grave, you moron! The point is, it's a racing incident, but there's nothing Russell could have done to get out of the way. And if you're asking these drivers not to race going into the first turn of a Grand Prix, then we might as well not have a race altogether. Anyway, all this fuckery allowed Piastri to slip into P2, Russell is forced to pit and is pushed to the foot of the grid.
Crikey.
A couple of laps later, after it's all cleaned up, the safety car comes in, with Verstappen keeping the lead and doing his fucking off into the distance thing. Russell fires up his mediums before Perez has a chance to get his hards going, and wings it round the outside of the Mexican, starting an excellent recovery drive, while Perez just didn't.
Oh, really?
Then Lando Norris makes it past the depressed Monegasque into turn 1 as he starts his hunt for a podium.
Are you still depressed because you're alone and no one loves you?
Then on lap 28, he comes into the pits and gets a 1.8 second stop. Astonishing, record-breaking stuff from the McLaren pit crew, and he manages to get well clear of Alonso. A few laps later, and Alonso goes right off into the gravel trap, then comes back on track right in front of Charlie Boy like a BMW driver at a junction. This allows Leclerc to get past the Spanish grandpa with ease. Then we started to see the real physical challenges of the race as Logan Sargent retires due to illness. Many drivers reported they were close to blacking out and felt like fainting. Ocon even threw up in his helmet. Quite a few drivers had to report to the medical centre, and some even struggled to get out of the car, which is absolutely fucked.
On a scale from 1 to 10, my friend, you're fucked.
Anyway, going into the final laps, and Norris wanted to chase down the papaya new boy. However, the team had other ideas, so Norris did everything but tell them to go fuck themselves, putting his foot down to try and gain to Piastri. To solve the problem, McLaren told Piastri to get a move on, which seemed to do the trick. Then there was the inevitable checkered flag as Max Verstappen wins the Qatar Grand Prix with the two McLarens rounding out the podium. So what does all this mean for the championship? Well, despite Team LH's best objections, Max Verstappen is now a 3 5-time world champion, and it is thoroughly deserved as he drove that rocket ship like a god. So congratulations to the Dutchie. After an impressive weekend, McLaren pull right up to the gearbox of Alonso and the deadweight in the standings. Mercedes pull a bit further ahead from Ferrari after George Russell's mega recovery drive, which was absolutely outstanding, especially when you compare it to Perez. And speaking of the Mexican, he took P10, so congratulations to Machis for that prediction. However, Perez needs to get his act together, otherwise he is fucked. And there are still 2 drivers yet to score points. Now on to the news. Horner has given Perez a warning telling him that his results need to improve or he's going to be in line at the job centre next season.
Still, could be worse.
Another driver with an uncertain future is Lance Stroll, as his lack of results mixed with a lack of motivation are making Daddy wonder if he should cut him out the will.
He has to go, blood. He has to go, blood.
McLaren are suing Alex Palou for $23 million amidst their ongoing contract dispute due to his re-signing with another IndyCar team. And given what happens to people who challenge McLaren lawyers, I would say he's fucked.
On a scale from 1 to 10, my friend, you're fucked.
Andretti have finally been accepted to join F1, and now they just need to get past the other team's desire for money.
Hello, I like money.
And finally, Apple is reportedly considering a massive bid for global streaming rights for F1. And I honestly have no idea whether this would be good or bad, because Sky is hideously expensive, but Apple also have a track record of hideously expensive. In a bit.